Okay, I'm Moiz Ehtishamuddin, Assistant Professor of Mathematics at MVSR Engineering College, Hyderabad. Uh, in this short session, maybe expected to be less than 15 minutes, I will try my level best to revise Unit 1 of Mathematics 2 under BEOU syllabus of second semester. So, what are the topics which we are going to discuss in this particular session are mainly this: rank of a matrix, that is the main base for all the things to follow. This rank of a matrix has its link up to the end in the orthogonal forms also. They are all interlinked. Rank, unless and until you know the rank of a matrix, you can't talk about the solutions of linear systems. How many solutions will exist, whether solutions will exist or not, all these things. So let us first enter into what is meant by a rank of a matrix. Actually, there is a definition for rank of a matrix, that is, you will talk about minors and then zero minors, non-zero minors, all these things. But what I am trying to talk now is only the very special, very important points which I can cover in a short period of time. So I am not talking about the definition of the rank of a matrix. Just I am telling how to find the rank of the matrix. The easiest way to find the rank of the matrix is this echelon form. When do you say a matrix is an echelon form? That condition is if you write a matrix like this, for example, 0, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0, 0, 2, 3, 4. In this case, this is the first non-zero element. This is the first non-zero element. This is the first non-zero element. The number of zeros before the first non-zero element is counted. So how many zeros we have here? No zeros. So I'll say that it is 0. How many zeros I have here? 1 0. And how many zeros I have before the first non-zero element? That is 2. So this should be increasing sequence strictly. No number should repeat. If I have 2 zeros here, in the next row it should be 3 zeros or 4 zeros. But the same number of zeros are not allowed. And if at all if 0 rows are there, that 0 rows should come at the end. For example, I have like this. Now there are 5 zeros here and 5 zeros here, but they will not be taken into consideration. We will take number of zeros before first non-zero element in the non-zero rows. So this matrix now, it's a bigger matrix. This will have 3 rows which are non-zero rows, and these 2 are 0 rows, 0 rows. So the rank of this matrix is just 3. Rank is equal to 3 because it has 3 non-zero rows. If a matrix appears in or it is brought in echelon form, then the rank of that matrix is number of non-zero rows. Clear up to here? Shall I proceed further? Okay. Next. The next concept which we would like to see is the solutions of linear systems. Whatever linear system you have, every linear system can be written as every linear system can be written as Ax is equal to B. For example, I have the system 2x plus 3y minus 4z is equal to 5, x minus 2y plus 3z is equal to 1, 2x minus y minus z is equal to 0, suppose. Then these 3 equations I can convert into a single equation in the form of Ax equal to B. Ax equal to B. That right side I'll write the constants 5 and 0, these names of the variables, and then coefficients I'll write 2, 3, minus 4. If you get a doubt, immediately ask. Okay, 2, minus 1, minus 1. At any time if you have a doubt, immediately stop me and ask, right? So these 3 equations are converted into a single matrix equation. It's looking like Ax equal to B. Now to decide whether the system has solution or not, and if it is having a solution, how many solutions will be there, that all will be discussed depending upon the rank of this matrices. Okay, here this matrix A is called coefficient matrix. This A is called coefficient matrix. This B, it is called constant matrix. Constant matrix. If you include the rows of, if you include the elements of A along with the B, that is called augmented matrix. Augmented matrix. In short, we will write like this: a line separating them, just to tell that it is combined from two matrices. Okay, so I'll just copy the elements of A, 2, 3, minus 4. For saving some time, I'm not writing full. I'll write just 5 here, 1, 0. Similarly, I have to write the elements of A here. Okay, now better I'll write it, finish it. 1, minus 2, 3. 1, minus 2, 3. And 2, minus 1. How much? Minus 1. Now what we need to do is, just this line is to tell that up to here you have elements of A and this is elements of B. These are elements of B. Only the point is, this complete is again a matrix with 3 rows and 4 columns. Now you have to find the rank of this augmented matrix. If this rank is equal to this rank of the coefficient matrix A, then only that system will be having a solution. A system which is having solution is called consistent. So Ax equal to B is consistent. Consistent means it will have solution. Whether it has one solution or infinite number of solutions, we simply say consistent. So these two things are necessary and sufficient for each other. This is if and only if. If the system we say it is consistent, means that this rank is same as this rank. If this rank is not equal to this rank, system is not consistent. Suppose if it is decided that this system is consistent, if Ax is equal to B is consistent, then there are two possibilities. Either it will have unique solution or it will have infinite number of solutions. No solution case is not discussed because I am saying that it is consistent. When it is not consistent, when rank of AB is not equal to rank of A, at that time that system is not consistent. If it is equal, it is consistent. Then only two cases: unique solution if rank of A is equal to number of unknowns, and it will have infinite number of solutions, infinite number of solutions. If rank of A is less than number of unknowns. Here unknowns are 3. So you need to find the rank by reducing it to echelon form. Then you can decide what is the rank of A, rank of AB, and then you can come to this conclusion. So now we'll come to the third case, third topic of our discussion, that is eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Now here I would like to say only one thing. If any system is given to you, just write it in the form of Ax equal to B, write the augmented matrix, decide the rank, and then declare whether it is consistent or not. If it is consistent, convert into equations again, then you continue. So this is first part getting completed, and second part is about eigenvalues and eigenvectors. If the question appears like this, find the eigenvalues and find the eigenvalues and eigenvectors of the matrix. That matrix will be always given as a square matrix, because we talk of eigenvalues and eigenvectors only for square matrix, and generally they give only 3 by 3 because 4 by 4 takes a lot of time. 2 by 2 will be very simple. So they will give some matrix here just as a matter of fixed discussion. I'm just taking some values here for -1 3 3 2 4. If the question comes like this, then solution for that one is characteristic equation of this A is det of A minus lambda I equal to 0. What is A? A is this one. Okay, A is this matrix. So what is lambda I? I will be 1 0 0 0 1 0. I am explaining for 3 by 3, that's why I am writing this one. And lambda I will be lambda multiplied with that one, so lambda will appear here. Now if I say A minus lambda I, that matrix will be just having the difference that minus lambda will appear. Okay, what is A here? A we have written something, that is 1 2 3 some. Okay, 1 2 3. So when you subtract lambda I from here, what happens? 1 minus lambda will be there. Because they are zeros, there will be no change. Similarly here, only diagonal element will change. Okay, no, not the zeros. What will come? What will come? That 2 and 3 will come, right? 1 minus lambda, 2 3, no change here. So with these values, 4 minus 1 3, it will be 4 3 here, and the thing is this minus 1 will become minus 1 minus lambda. Only minus lambda will be appearing in the diagonal positions. Remaining positions it will be as it is, no change. And that 3 2 4, that will become 3 2 3 2 4 minus lambda. This is the matrix. Now when I say I want the determinant of this one, then I'll be writing in this way. Okay, determinant of this will be just this one, and determinant of this equal to 0 gives this equal to 0. Now you have to simplify this one. So something lambda cube will come, some lambda square will come, some lambda and some constant, that equal to 0. This will be called as characteristic equation. And suppose the characteristic values are 2, 3 and 5. Just for sake of simplicity, I am writing some numbers here. I have not calculated the roots of this one. So case 1, we need to find characteristic, or we need to find eigenvectors. You can say characteristic vectors, also you can say eigenvectors. To find eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equal to 2, we need to solve a minus 2i of x equal to 0. Now you will be writing a minus 2i, means minus 2 will appear extra in the diagonal positions, something minus 2. Remaining elements will be as it is. This into xyz equal to 0 0 0. You have to solve this one to get the eigenvectors. Whatever xyz value is there, that is eigenvector. Okay. Similarly, you will be finding the eigenvector corresponding to 3 and corresponding to 5. For each and every eigenvalue, you have to find the corresponding eigenvectors. And the fourth topic is about Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Every square matrix, this is the statement, every square matrix satisfies its characteristic equation. Now what is the meaning of this one? Suppose example, if A is equal to 1 2 3 4, for the sake of simplicity I written only just 2 by 2 matrix. Every square matrix, whether it is 3 by 3 or 10 by 10 order, whatever it is, it will satisfy its characteristic equation. Now what is the meaning of this one? First of all, find the meaning is whatever characteristic equation comes, it comes in terms of lambda, for example. Then in the place of lambda, if you substitute a, that equation will be satisfied. Now what is characteristic equation of this one? Just I am writing 1 minus lambda. I am writing det of a minus lambda I. So minus 3 will be there as it is, 4 minus lambda. Det of a minus lambda I equal to 0 is characteristic equation. Now if we simplify this, how much you will get? 1 minus lambda into 4 minus lambda plus 6 equal to 0. That is nothing but lambda square minus 4 lambda minus lambda, that will become minus 5 lambda, and it is plus 4 plus 6, that is plus 10 equal to 0. So what happens is a square minus 5a plus 10i, actually it is lambda power 0 here, 10 lambda power 0, and lambda power 0 to be written as a power 0. A power 0 is nothing but identity matrix, that is equal to 0. So we need to prove this one. To prove this, actually Cayley-Hamilton theorem says that it will be satisfied, okay, this will be okay. But to verify this one, whatever a is given, find a square, substitute a square here, subtract, okay, 5a, add 10i, you will get null matrix, that is sure. Now how to find a inverse from this one? Just multiply a inverse to this equation. A square minus 5a plus 10i is equal to null matrix. A square into a inverse into a square. So a to the power of m into a power n is a power m plus n. So here adding the powers will get a minus 5 times of a inverse into a will become I, plus 10 times of a inverse multiplied with I, that is just a inverse, equal to 0. Implies, now I have the value of 10a inverse. 10a inverse is equal to that a minus 5i. A minus 5i. Therefore, the value of a inverse is equal to 1 by 10 into a minus 5i. So whenever the matrix has an inverse, it can be calculated using Cayley-Hamilton theorem in this way. If it is 3 by 3 matrix, a cube will appear. So instead of a here, some a square will come, some times of a, and then some times of this I will appear. So the value of A inverse will be in this way. So in this way we will be able to calculate A inverse if it exists. If A inverse does not exist, at that time even Cayley-Hamilton theorem will not be able to help us to find the A inverse. If it is 3 by 3 matrix, at that time a square will come, something a will come. Okay, now back to the point, and the last concept which we have to discuss. Okay, let me come back to the first slide. Okay, so we discussed this rank, solutions, eigenvalues, Cayley-Hamilton theorem. The last concept which we are going to discuss now, that is orthogonal forms. Orthogonal form. Any homogeneous expression of degree 2 is called quadratic form. For example, I have x square plus y square plus 10z square minus 9t square plus 13 by 2 w square. What's happening here is every term is of degree 2, and it can be in any number of variables, and not necessarily that it should be only squared terms. I can have the product terms x into y plus 4 times of x into z minus 9 times of x into w. Not necessary that all product terms should appear. So I can stop here. It is an example of a quadratic form in 5 variables. Every quadratic form can be written as X transpose AX, where A is selected as a square matrix, symmetric matrix. Now, how to write the matrix of the quadratic form? That is very important issue now. For example, we have 3x square minus 9y square plus 10z square minus 4xy minus 2xz plus 9yz. Now, we have to write this as X transpose AX, where A will be equal to, and this X will be X, Y, Z, which are the names of the variables. This particular symmetric matrix should be written like this. This 3, minus 9 and 10 are the coefficients of squared terms. Squared terms will have the position of diagonal elements. So this 3, minus 9, this 10. Why it is so, I'll tell you. Actually, you can feel that it is like this: xx, xy, xz. First variable I am writing for row, and second variable I am writing for the column. Now it is yx, yy, yz. It's actually I am calling xyz as 1, 2, 3. Then this position is 1, 1. I am writing first variable. This position is 1, 2. So I am writing xy. In that way I am continuing. So it is yy here, and this will be z, because this is 3, 1 position. 3, 1 position is third row, first column. So third variable is z, first variable is x. So it is zx, zy, zz. So this is the way how the variables will take their positions. Now xx, yy, zz, that is the row number and the column number will be same only in diagonal elements. That is why they will be placed, these coefficients will be placed in the diagonal elements. Now this is the position for xy, and this is the position for yx. We have minus 4xy. So minus 4xy I will write as minus 2xy minus 2yx. So this minus 2 and this minus 2, these coefficients I will place in xy position and this yx position. So I will write minus 2 here and minus 2 here. Similarly, xz, xz and zx position. Xz is this position, zx is this position. So we have totally minus 2xz. So by taking the half of that one, I will place here as minus 1 here and minus 1 here. Now we have 9yz. So it is 9 by 2 yz plus 9 by 2 zy. That's why I write as 9 by 2 here and 9 by 2 here. So this is how a quadratic form is expressed into matrix form. Now there is one more important concept called as canonical form. And whatever quadratic form is given to us, we will write that quadratic form into matrix form, and after writing in matrix form, it will be easy for us to bring into canonical form. What is canonical form basically? That is, a quadratic form is called in canonical form if it contains only squared terms. No product terms should appear. Now this quadratic form is having product terms. Now it is not in canonical form. But this quadratic form can be brought to canonical form by changing the variables. By taking a transformation, we can convert this quadratic form into canonical form. Suppose I write that example 4x1 square minus 9x2 square plus 8x3 square. Then it is not having any product terms. This is in canonical form. After writing the matrix after writing the quadratic form into canonical form. Actually there are several ways. You have the way of writing using only row operations and column operations, that's one way, and using eigenvalues and eigenvectors you can do this way. Finally, once you convert into canonical form, we talk of certain things, that is index, rank. Okay, first we talk of rank, then index, then signature and nature. Rank is nothing but number of non-zero terms. Now here in this we have 3 terms which are non-zero terms, and hence we call this, okay, we call the rank as 3 for that example. Index is the number of positive terms. So for this example, the number of positive terms are 2 positive terms. So 2 is going to become the index. And in the case of here coming to this point, signature, it is number of positive terms minus number of negative terms. So that is going to become the signature. So number of positive terms are 2, number of negative terms are 1. So 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So 1 is the signature, and the nature is going to be defined in terms of how many positive terms are there, negative terms are there. Let me define it very clearly. If all the terms are positive, it is called positive definite. If all the terms are negative, that is called negative definite. If some terms are positive, some terms are negative, then it is called indefinite. Now here some terms are positive, some terms are negative, then we say it is indefinite. If all are positive, positive definite. If all are negative, negative definite. If some are positive, some are negative, at that time it is indefinite. So the nature for this one is indefinite. And actually, how do you write the canonical form? By looking at the eigenvalues. So sometimes one eigenvalue will come 0. If eigenvalue is 0, some eigenvalue is 0, and remaining all eigenvalues are positive, that is called positive semi-definite. Keep in mind, nature, there are 5 natures, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First is positive definite, if all positive. Negative definite if all negative. And indefinite if positive is available, negative is also available. If 0 is available and remaining all are positive, along with one eigenvalue as 0, remaining all eigenvalues are positive, then it is called positive semi-definite. It is called, only the difference is this is positive definite, this is positive semi-definite. Semi will come when 0 appears, and negative semi-definite if 0 comes and remaining all are negative. So this is how we define the nature. So what is the nature of this quadratic form? It is indefinite, okay, indefinite. So it was aimed at touching all the concepts short amount of time, but however I exceeded my time, so we are not looking at the problems you can do. So this is the short revision of unit 1. Thank you for watching.